Hi, friends, and welcome. This is day 18 of my 40-day challenge of bringing spiritual insights to you. And so today, this message is for somebody who has been struggling in life, facing a lot of challenges, perhaps is not really clear on their purpose, and is just trying to find a way to move forward in life. And this message really was so near and dear to my heart because this was definitely a turning point in my journey. Um, when I was really having a difficult time, when I was 3,000 miles away and I was in a relationship with a narcissist and I was isolated from my family and friends, this was a time when I really had nothing left to give. And so what happened in that moment was I began to pray. I began to um, really access the only thing that was available to me, which was God. And so in that moment, I surrendered to God's divine will. I said, I have nothing left. I don't have anything left to give. I don't know how to get through this situation, and I need your support. I need your help. So I turned back to God and I asked for that support. I asked for that guidance and that help, that miracle. And that's exactly what happened for me, is that within 2 days I received um, enough money to leave that situation and get on a plane and go home to see my friends and family. And the person that I was with, they decided I could leave. They let me go. And so that was a defining moment for me. And I remember saying to myself, God, like, I will never doubt you again. Use me, make me, let me be that instrument um, for you to work through to help and support other people. Now, that was quite a long time ago. But what I recognize is that this process of surrender and deciding to let God lead your life is so important. It truly is this choice. But there is something about this process of surrender that can feel really uncomfortable. And as we actually really lean into that, we can discover that there's parts of us that don't want to let go of control. It can feel like we're letting go of control, and the ego really wants to be in control. It wants us to stay small. It wants us to run those automatic programs and patterns and stories that it has been running for us all of this time. And so no matter where you are on your journey, right? I feel that it's always a beautiful thing when you restate that commitment of surrendering to God, to choosing God, to being devoted to God, to aligning your life with this beautiful divine power that absolutely loves you and gives you this love unconditionally. And so it is through that process of surrender that we align with our higher self. We align with our I am presence. We align with Creator's will. And the interesting thing is our higher self is us. Our I am presence is us. We are these multidimensional beings, not just existing here as a soul in this human body, but we are so much bigger. We are so much bigger. And so it is our higher self, it is our I am presence that knows the totality of our being, the totality of our divine plan, and what we chose to do and be when we are here in this lifetime. So if we feel like we've been off path, if we feel like we have been just challenged, or if we are suffering in life, then this is definitely a moment, an opportunity, an invitation to surrender again and again. I find this process of surrender shows up in life over and over again, where we might be faced with a situation that we are really struggling with, and we're not sure what to do. And what I always find is that we're holding on so tight to trying to control it, or we are forgotten that we have this support, that we can have this conversation with God. We can have a conversation with our higher self. We can commune with this beautiful, loving presence. And so when we surrender and we make that really clear that we want God to lead our lives, which is absolutely in alignment with your higher self, with what you chose to experience in this lifetime, when we reconnect with that, when we reaffirm that, when we claim that, then there's this beautiful thing that happens. Miracles begin to unfold in our life. We begin to feel supported. We begin to feel relief because we relax, we let go, and we recognize that you don't have to carry it all, right? I don't have to carry it all. You don't have to carry all of these burdens, and we can begin to surrender those burdens to the divine and to begin to receive that support. So when we go through this process of surrender, it's so interesting because you would think, oh yeah, that's easy. I can do that. I can surrender. But what I've experienced and what I have seen in working with, my clients, different people, is that there can be a lot of things that show up when we actually are deeply looking at this process of surrender, and we are wanting to do that, but we can find that there's so much resistance. And if we come up against things and reasons why we are resisting, this is the opportunity to look at why. Why are we turning away from God? Why do we have such resistance to even saying that word? I remember when I didn't want to say that word. I remember when I felt that, I might offend somebody, right? If I speak the name of God. And now I understand, right? I understand all the things that were under those layers of why I had such difficulty with that. And so as you begin to explore that, you might find that there's past programming, right? There's past programming. Maybe you were hurt in the past. Maybe someone passed away that you really loved and you blamed God for that passing. And it was really hard for you to trust God again. And so there's so many things around this idea and this process of surrendering to God that we definitely want to, instead of just ignoring it, then this is this beautiful invitation to really examine, really look at these things and find out, like, why am I so uncomfortable with this? Why am I uncomfortable with the idea of surrender? Why am I uncomfortable with the idea of letting go? Why am I uncomfortable? What are the things that are showing up for me? So there's a lot of self-questioning that needs to happen. But the gold in this, the absolute beauty in this, is that when you finally come to that place of surrender, and it is such a relief. It is just this beautiful place of like, wow, I don't have to do this on my own anymore. I can be guided. I can be supported. I can accept the love that has always been flowing to me. And this will put you on this beautiful path to really begin that journey of healing, that journey of deepening and understanding the depths and of who you truly are, beginning to remember the truth of who you are, that your origin does come from this divine intelligence, from God. And when you remember that, when you really remember it, not from an intellectual level, but from a place of knowing, from a place of knowing thyself, knowing God, this will change your life forever in such a positive way. And so I wanted to share this message with you. And I was so excited about this message because it is so powerful when we reconnect, when we remember that God has never left us. God has always been with us. It is us that turns away. And in any moment, we have that opportunity to turn back and to receive that love, to receive that guidance, to ask for that support. And that's when the universe, right? When God begins to send that support that we need, not just in the unseen, in spirit, but that transfers into the external, into the 3D, where we have these beautiful earth angels, these beautiful human beings that start showing up to support us in evolving and growing and in taking those next steps forward in our life, And so I hope this message, that you contemplate this message and you really think about it. Have I actually really truly thought about this? Have I actually truly surrendered? And maybe if you have, this can be another opportunity to really revisit that and make that commitment again. Make that commitment to yourself. Make that commitment to have God in your life, to reconnect with your divine purpose, with your divine plan, and to be open to receive that. So thank you for watching, and I'm so grateful to be here sharing these things with you. I hope this is helpful for you. Please like or subscribe to my channel if you like the things that I am sharing. And if there's someone in your life that you think might need this message, then please share it, because sometimes we just need that earth angel. Sometimes we just need that certain message, and that's like exactly what we needed to feel that sense of relief, to know that next step that we need to take. So I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for pressing play. Thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.